Yeah.
Trey Tuck, BFA, what up? Summer's gone.
The breeze stops blowing.
Stop flowing.
The sun just leaves the sky.
Yeah. The life that I crave could leave niggas amazed and let them know this rap music isn't just a phase. If you could rock a stage with just a phrase, that's motivation and make sure I'm seeing better days. All eyes on me, pocket my speakers, my reps been cold, but this beat gon' heat up. I'm making plans to expand the vision that's at hand. So understand I'm a man that'll do what I can to get what I want, live the way that I want. Somewhere on a boat sporting Yeast St. Laurent. Deep sea diving, a victor on my wrist. They worry about my business, but can handle they bitch. Focus on your own grind, but don't criticize mine. Cause you don't know what I went through to look like I'm fine. My aim to write vivid words, give sight to the blind. The deaf don't hear it, just always keep the volume high. No silver spoon given, but never been a bum. I never had to rob and steal for a couple bucks, but I remember I had to starve when it came to lunch. My stomach rumbling, feeling the need to throw up. And even though we struggled, we always had enough. We always made it work, made sure to have some fun. Cause this college life will leave you feeling all alone. The older I got, the more I realized life was cold. I make music to connect to the people. Let them know even though my words lethal, deep down we all equal. This just a sneak preview. BFA hosting, I'm bringing you the sequel. I'm God's son, that's why I gotta keep shining and kill beats like Africans kill for blood diamonds. This is straight rhyming, these niggas Elton Johnin'. Don't take offense to the words when I start LeBronin'. That means I'm going hard, don't need the Viagra. Collecting data till my pockets getting fatter. And I don't want a loaf, I want the whole bakery under the radar. So what I drop is latent heat. Make no mistake, all my niggas striving to be great. My advice, be safe and always know your place. BFA, these niggas gon' be afraid. Being sick is in my blood like I caught the AIDS. All eyes on me, just watch it be amazed. Straight hip hop awards, no VMAs, nigga. Yeah.
Welcome to Two Local Radio. This is Ray Ray.
And this is Chrissy D.
And who we have today is none other than the soon-to-be famous Trey Tuck. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell the people a little about yourself?
What's good? I'm from Bristol, Connecticut. That's like the home of the ESPN. So not a lot of people, not a lot of people know about it out here. But you know, I'm just a regular dude making regular music for people all around the world. You know.
But the thing about your music is it's different. It's got like a positive message, but it doesn't sound like a Christian rap artist. Yeah,
it's funny that you say that because one of my friends told me, he was like, "Yeah, you should do Christian rap," and I was like, I'm all for the Lord and everything, but I felt like I could get my message across more if I'm talking from what I know, and that's like people who I grew up around and my peers. You got people who I've known going to jail. I know people who've killed people. So I'm just trying to speak from a perspective of like what I see around me, not talking about what I've never done or the life that other people live that I'm trying to emulate, and it's never like that. So I just try to put that in the message for people to hear, and hopefully it gets out there, and you know, I get the compliments and everything, but I try to work hard every day to be the best I can. And once I reach my full potential, I feel like I just feel like it's going to be a great day when I reach that potential.
Well, you are very, very talented, I have to say. I love your music. And,
Thank you.
yeah, keep it real. That's the best you can do. Don't start writing that fake stuff because that's not where it's at, you know?
Yeah. It's just funny because, I listen to a lot of music, and I've been trying to get into, like, other genres of music. It's hard at this point, but I'll get to it. But the point is, with, like, hip-hop music, it's kind of messed up because they try to put everybody in a box, and they try to make everybody rap about the same thing. And I listen to the radio a lot, not a lot enough to catch on, but I listen to it just to hear, you know, what they play on the radio, and it's all bull. It's all crap. And there's a lot of people who I know, and there's a lot of underground rappers who have an important message, and that's the message that I want to bring to the forefront instead of sounding like everyone else. Because I'm trying to be myself, and that's what I try to do through the music. So
Exactly. That's what it's all about, I mean, when I heard your music, I was like, wow, yeah, he really, he really has a message and he's really letting it out there. And, you're being real, you're being true. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, it's just not a lot of people can say that because I just know, speaking from experience, when you hear when you're trying to make it and people keep telling you, well, you don't sound like this person, or like you sound like this person, it all kind of gets to people's heads and they start to kind of change who they were originally just to fit in what society wants them. Like, as far as music is for everybody. So I feel like I make music for everybody, and if you can relate to what I'm talking about, then you can. But if you can't, there's still a message that's being put across. So I feel like that's a good reason for me to make music, and I just love doing this. It's fun for me. It's fun.
What's funny is forever I said, what happened? What would happen if there was actually a hip hop artist that came out that actually told people about real life and shit that's going on in real life, such as, if you get the felonies, you limit yourself, or, like you said, with the, student loans. Yeah, they're great, for school and everything, but I loved how you said Sallie Mae can kiss your butt.
I thought it was hysterical. I was cracking up. I was like, that's right, she can.
It's the truth. It's the truth. It sucks because I go to school and I transferred to another school, and it's like college loans really suck, and not a lot of people talk about that. Like, there's a lot of people who are in school, but they talk about doing things that they don't do. Like, if you're in school, there's no reason for you to be talking about how you're in the street selling this and selling that, but you're in class at 8:00 in the morning. So like, it doesn't make sense. I just try to talk about, like I said, what I know, and I just get great influences from the people around me, like my uncle, a couple people from my team. I mean, they just keep me humble and just steer me away from that direction, because anybody can go to that direction where they start talking about what everybody wants to hear, but it's really hard to stay true to yourself when people are trying to change you, which is ironic, but that's how it is.
Exactly. And the problem is with that, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. The
No,
problem with that is too many people want to try to change you, and they want you to sound like you said, this rapper, that rapper, this hip hop artist, that hip hop artist, or country artist, or whatever kind of genre of music you're doing. And it's just sad. People need to stay true to themselves, like you said. It's exactly true.
Exactly, and the thing is, I listen to a lot of old school music, and you can hear like the passion for it. I'm not saying that not everyone nowadays has passion, because there's a few artists who I love listening to, like Kendrick Lamar is one of my favorites, Wale and J. Cole, and people who just really like. There's a few others, but there's people who really bring that feel of like they want to have fun instead of doing it for a paycheck. And a lot of people get that confused. Like, I do music because at the end of the day, I know what I go through, and it's better for me to put my struggles and pain and put other people's struggles and pain through the music than me to go out and do something that I'll regret later in life. So it's kind of like a therapeutic thing for me. So, I mean, I enjoy making music, and I enjoy when I get, like, good feedback from it. And I also like hearing criticism from people. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Not to take the spotlight off you, but the reason that Sallie Mae thing made sense to me is because back in the 90s, I had a chance to go to Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yes.
And they required their tuition was like $7,000, and they were going to give me a half scholarship, but the rest, they wanted me to, I didn't qualify for Sallie Mae, or, and that's the only kind of loan they had. And they're like, okay, well, you're either going to give this to us up front or you're screwed. So I didn't end up going. So now I got to go the back door years later, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, man, they screw you on so many ways, and and I hear it from. It's funny that you say that, because it's not just me. It's not just you. It's a lot of people who feel that way about Sallie Mae. Like, and it's just funny that people can like all relate to that in a sense. So that's pretty cool.
I've thought about going back to school and going to college for I want to be a vet tech's assistant.
Okay, my sister wants to be a vet.
Does she? That's cool. But I'm
Yeah.
just afraid to because, like you said, these loans kill you.
Yeah, you end up in debt that you don't want to pay back. And the craziest thing is that you usually end up in debt that is hard to pay back because when you get out of school, a lot of people tell you to go to college and everything, but I'm a sociology major. I'm a psychology major, and I'm trying to do clinical psychology too. So if I want to do clinical psychology and I just have a bachelor's, that's not enough. So like if all this money that's being invested into me by Sallie Mae and all these loans that I'm taking out, I won't be able to pay it back because who knows, when I get out of college, I might not even have a job like waiting for me. I might have to go back to school and owe more money. So it's a bitch. Like it's a bitch.
Yeah, that
Exactly. I mean, like, sorry, hon. It's funny because like I'll see all these commercials on TV. Oh, well, you're a single mom. You could get all these loans and grants and this and that, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. And then you're gonna charge me up the wazoo at the end. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, what's funny is if we come from somewhere else, we'll get everything. But because we're born here or, raised here, we don't get shit. And all we get is you got to pay back. And like you said, you go from one school. The trick is, people go to school, then go to school, then go to school. But eventually what's going to happen is they're going to get so far in debt and then have to go to one of these consolidation companies thinking, okay, yeah, I got a year or two to, catch up, and they're never going to. It's kind of like a credit card scam.
Exactly, and that's why I think it's funny because it's like you said, like a credit card scam. They want you to you get this money and you got to pay it back, and now you got to pay back interest on top of it. So it's just a hassle, and I feel like me personally, like I want to make it with music because I mean it's something I enjoy doing. Plus, I mean it pays well too, but that's not the main reason why I'm doing it. It's just that they push you into a system, like a school system, when everybody can be, like, if you're a painter and you want to be a painter, nobody says you can't be a famous painter or something, like, but everybody's so geared into going to school that people forget to follow their dreams and, like, what they really want to be. And I feel like that's a reason why a lot of people get into this debt by doing something they don't want to do, and then they regret it in the end, so. It's just crazy. It's like a double-edged sword.
Exactly. Before we move on to about your history and everything,
Yep.
I just wanted to say that just don't sell out, man. If you get your money, that's good and whatnot, but just don't sell out because when you start acting like another star, what's exactly going to happen is 2 years later you're going to be on the shelf.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? A lot of people say this, but I truly feel like me being who I am, the type of person I am, if you don't mind, I'll give you just like a little synopsis of like the type of person I am. The type of person I am.
Go ahead.
All right. The type of dude that I am is like I'm my own person, and I've been influenced by everybody in my life. My mom, my dad, my uncle. I'm glad to say that has happened to me. But the best part is that I go out into this world and like I'm on college campuses and I'm completely different from anybody that I know just because I don't like to conform. I don't like to conform to society and like what they have it for like people. Like I'm black, like there's a certain stereotype and there's certain things that people are held to and I don't like to live up to those expectations. Instead I do something different. Like for example, I dress regular. Like, I love to rap, but people won't know that I rap because there's no reason for me to walk around with jewels and all this stuff because if I'm doing that, I'm really not being true to myself, and that's not the type of person I am. I'm more of a low-key kind of person, so I feel like society and, like, when you get into the game and everything and what they want from you, I feel like me personally, because the people around me and just the type of person that I am, I feel like it'd be a lot harder for me to sell out. But, I mean, it's when you get in that position, it's totally different. So I can say all this now, and you really got to make that decision when it comes. So.
Yeah, but just keep this in the back of the mind, even though we're, little. compared to what you're going to end up and whatnot. But, just keep that. If you sell out and you act like a different artist, you're going to be on the shelf. I mean, I've seen it happen time and time again.
I understand. I completely understand. Don't worry. I'm not selling out anytime soon. I'm not selling out anytime soon.
Well, we could tell that because we could tell you're a real person just by talking to you, that you're true to yourself, and that's what's good about it.
Thank you.
But, I mean, I'm not saying don't get the money. If you can get money, go get your money. I mean,
trust me, I understand. I come from a great musical background. Like, I love music. I love music too much to do something. Like, it's a part of me, so me selling out or doing something that isn't natural to me is like I'm kind of selling myself away, and I don't even think money's not that important to me. At the end of the day, if I'm true to myself, money's not that important to me. So that's the type of morals and the type of thought process that I have as far as money changing people and everything. So
that's really good to hear. How old were you, would you say, when you started to rap?
I think I was a fresh. Technically I'm a senior in college, so I started when I was 17. I went to school in Boston, and it actually started as a freestyle. Like, it was just a mess around freestyle, and I wrote a verse and I freestyled with my boys. And then from there, I was like, people were listening to it, and they're like, yo, you guys are good. You guys are real good. And I'm like, okay, we're good. So I started writing a little bit more. So at like 17, I didn't really take it serious because I was a freshman in college. I was doing whatever. 18, I took it a little bit more serious. But I feel like when I turned 19 and I started my year when I transferred schools, I think I was 19. Once I did that, I felt like music was a part of me. And that's when I really feel like I started taking music serious. But I started rapping when I was like 17, writing my own stuff. I used to recite verses. Like, one of my favorite verses to recite was Lottie Dottie by Slick Rick. So, like, I just used to recite verses, but I never used to rap and put my thoughts down because I never knew how to do it. But at the age of probably 19, I say, when I really started feeling myself and really started rapping.
So basically, it just started as a joke. You and your boys just, joking around, doing your thing, and then enough people liked you, and you're like, well, wait a second, I may be on to something here.
Yep, like, that's exactly what happened. Because I was a sports guy. Like, I thought I was gonna be playing somewhere in the NFL, and then and I messed up my knee, and then that's kind of like where I had to like figure out who I really was, and that's when I wrote that verse. And I rehearsed it and I recorded it. I kind of felt like, okay, like, this could be like the second coming, like how people feel like, okay, like, I need to do something to change my life. I feel like that like spark plugged my life, because where I was going it wasn't downhill, but it just wasn't where I pictured myself. So it started as a joke, which is funny to me because I didn't even like it, but people liked it, and I just kind of rolled with it. So.
But you know what? They say great things happen by pure accident, and if it's meant for you to do, there'll be a way that it will get done.
That is true. That is very true. And I'm a firm believer in that, because I hear it all the time. I hear it from my brother tells me, like, and these aren't people who are like, everybody has people who are yes men, but like, I have people who in my corner will be like, yo, that shit is whack. I don't want to hear that. Like, so it's and this is my family members, people who I look for approval. When my brother told me that this is like what you were sent down to do, like, this is what you were made for, that just little things like that. And when people tell me stuff like that, it just clicks. Like, music is really my calling, and I have so much passion for it. That's why this might be a little off topic, but that's why I have so much respect for Kanye West, because people might not like him and people might think he's an asshole, whatever. But one thing I can say about him is he has so much passion, and it's like you have to respect that. And I went to his concert and it was amazing. Like I had no choice but to respect that man. So that's just the way I feel. Like I just have so much passion for music. Like if I could do it 24/7, I would do it. But unfortunately, you got school and bills to pay. But you know, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
What's funny is you mentioned, Kanye and whatnot, and I was a huge, fan, his first few albums, even though he had that line that said, we'll never let the light skin in again. But I didn't care. It's based on where he came from, so.
Yeah. People think he fell off. People say, I don't like the way he's heading. I just see it as, me personally, I'm not speaking for everyone, but I mean, he's a genuine dude. Like he talks about what he knows, and people shut him down when he tries to be something different than other people. Like we were talking about the whole box thing and how people want to marginalize you, and that's one person who, like, I look up to him, and I look at him and I'm like, yo, like, he wants to be a fashion designer, and people keep telling him, no, stick to music. But when he first started, people were telling him, yo, stick to beats. So, like, people try to marginalize you, and that's one person that I look up to as far as, like, beating that aspect of life, like, that of just beating that type of, that world of people want you to do this and just doing what you want to do. So that's why I have respect for all of his albums, even though I didn't understand some of them. Some of them got some crazy concepts and theories in them, but I have nothing but respect for that man. So, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is, So,
as far as his music, I respect him. As far as his lifestyle and things that I heard, I don't know what to think.
Yeah, that's totally different. Everybody has their own personal opinions, but as far as music, I feel like as music, he's a genius. Like, you have to respect him. As far as life choices, I mean, I don't know. He does what he wants to do. He got billions of dollars, so millions of dollars. I mean, could turn you crazy.
Well, when you're a grown-ass man, you could do whatever the hell you want. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. That's very true.
So why don't you tell everybody a little backstory about your family and how you were raised? Because you said you didn't get into rap or hip hop, which I don't know if you consider yourself a rapper or a hip hop artist. And if you've never heard KRS-One, you don't know the difference.
I'm a hip hop artist.
Well, then you heard KRS-One.
I know the difference. I watched I think I know it. It's from some DVD. I watched it like a million times. The Art of Hip Hop. There it is.
There you go.
Yep, there it is. And I watched that. I had a performance, and I watched that show. I watched that DVD about 3-4 times before I went on my performance, just to learn how to really, like, rock a crowd. And KRS is, I mean, he's dope. So that's one of the people you look up to as far as that. As far as my backstory, I grew up in Bristol, Connecticut. It's a small town. It's very diverse. It's not what people think it is. People think it's like some big ESPN, like, rich people town. It's nothing like that. Like, I grew up in the projects, not like Chicago. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm somebody I'm not. I grew up in the projects. I grew up with a divorce. My mom was divorced. My mom was divorced from my dad. My uncle basically, that's like my big brother. He's been there for me since I've been born. Like, he's been there for me as much as everyone has. And it's funny because when you have aunts and uncles, usually they're doing their own thing. This man will sacrifice his arm and a leg for me, and I appreciate everything he's done. So that's what I was raised on. That type of somebody who was always there for me. My dad was there, my mom was there, but sometimes you need a third opinion from someone else, So that's why I looked up to for approval and tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and everything. I grew up playing sports. I played basketball, football, baseball, soccer. I played all sports. I was an athletic kid. Just nothing different about me like that. Every kid plays sports. I was just a regular dude. And then up until the point where I got to high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do as far as my life. And people make these decisions like they want to be doctors and everything. Well, I had so much going through my mind. But me, I emphasize on this because it really made me find out who I was, and I'm glad it happened. I messed up my knee, and it literally killed me to sit down. Like, I sat out a whole year from football. Football is like a passion. Like, people have passions. That's a passion for me. I sat out a whole year. It hurt me because I was getting jerked around and everything, and by the coaches and everything, whatever. It just hurt me. And during that time, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I was going to do in my life. I didn't even think about going to school. Like, I didn't think about going out of state. I didn't think about any of that stuff. I just thought about how am I going to fix my knee so I could play football. But really, it was just a blessing in disguise for me because it just made me learn about who I really was. So from that point, you know, I went off to school, did basically what every other college student did until I got up to the point of like 19, and that's when I really just started to do music. So I really don't like my story is kind of boring or whatever, but it's just a normal, you know, I'm just a normal person. Like, I just want to make music for everybody in the world, and I'm in a group too. I haven't even said anything about them, but everybody in my group is like my brothers, like called Brothers from Another Entertainment. Like, they're all brothers to me, and we all inspire each other to push each other and try to be better. And these are people that I grew up with since day one. So, basically, my story is just like everybody else's regular story, but the only difference is I have a gift, and I'm trying to make a difference with that gift. So that's basically my story. I'm from the East Coast. Like, I love all types of music. I love the West Coast. I love down south music when I'm in the mood. I love all types of music. So as far as hip hop music, I haven't really gotten to like country and rock and stuff, but I will eventually. So
wait a second. I'm gonna have to disagree here. I'm gonna have to, you know, hit the button and say no. X does not get the square because you're downgrading yourself, man. You gotta think of all them people out there that, you know, had knee injuries that never did anything and just let that, you know, hurt them. You got to think about all them people that grew up in the projects and decided to, you know, do their own thing and, you know, say fuck life. You got to think about, you know, all them people that dealt with divorces in their family and, you know, just went to different things and used that as a crutch, man.
Yeah, exactly. Think of all them. I'm sorry. Think about all them kids that grew up in the project that decided, well, you know what? The hell with that. I'm living in the projects. I'm going to go sell them drugs. Or I'm going to go join a gang and shoot that person. Or, you know what I'm saying? You didn't give in to any of that.
That's true. But the thing is, the reason why I didn't give in to any of that stuff, and I understand, I kind of did downplay myself a little bit. The significance of my family has played a big role in that. Because if my family wasn't around, because I know a lot of people who sell drugs, and I don't knock them for it. I know people who carry guns and whatever. I don't knock them for it. But I just know what they missed. Like, there's some people who missed a father figure, and there's some people who missed, you know, they might not have a mother. Like, some girls who didn't have a father around. Like, so my family, I feel like if my family wasn't there, my choices would probably be a little bit harder than they were. But since they were there, it was more like easier to just steer in the direction of positivity versus negativity. Like, I was in the house by the streetlights when I was a kid. Like, I wasn't out running around because I already knew what happened if I was out too late. So I kind of feel like my family is just very. That's what I downplayed. My family has been there for me since day one, and I'm very appreciative of that.
But here's the thing, and I'm not, you know, trying to disagree with you in any way, shape, or form because you're a fantastic artist. You know, I'll even go as far as, you know, as good as, you know, like Jadakiss when he started. You know, some of your lyrics remind me of like Tupac's, like, you know, real songs. Yeah. Not as shooting ones, but real songs. But here's the thing. In this world, they will eat you alive if you don't have – I'm not saying you don't have confidence in yourself, but if you don't say, yeah, I went through this shit and I passed it, and I've done my thing, and I went to school, and who the fuck are you to tell me otherwise?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But see, me, that's the thing. When that when that ever gets to my point, and people are like, "Oh, well, you're just another." I have a breaking point. But as far as me just being confident about myself, it's a humble confident. Like I'm not loud. I don't like being loud how I move. Like I let people, people can think what they want. But when it comes down to it, if I get on a verse with somebody and they're talking like, "Oh, you fucking suck, you're this and that," if I get on that verse with them, my verse is gonna be better because I'm gonna kill them. Like my mentality, like I go crazy when people try to compete with me. There's a difference. I understand what you're saying, and I can understand how it could be taken as like, well, you can't be a little passive. But all I know is if anybody was to ever try to diss tracks, people try to throw my name different ways, that's the difference. I have confidence in myself to be like, yo, like this ain't flying off, or like you're not talking to the person you think you're talking to, and that's when it comes out. But as far as that, I'm humble about it. I try to be as humble as I can until people bring out that very competitive side of me, and once that side comes out, there's no stopping it. I'll go to any extent to be better than the best person in the world. Like that's the type of mentality I have. But when I come off to people, nobody likes an arrogant, cocky asshole, and that's why I try not to be. I can be that time, but I don't try to be that person because nobody wants to be around somebody like that. I would hate to be around a person who is an asshole 24/7, or someone who's like, well, I'm the best at this. Well, I'm the best at this. And you know what? You could be the best, but like if you're the best, I don't really need to hear about it. Like it's gonna speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? So like when people talk to me about my music or whatever, I just try to let it speak for itself instead of me have to do the talking, because you can talk all you want, but if it don't sound like how you're talking, then it's two different things, and people aren't gonna respect you. I just people can formulate any opinions they want about me. It is what it is. But when it comes to music, that's totally different. Like music is like my sport. Like how I treated football, that's how I treat music. I'm competitive with that. So, I mean,
that's great. That's exactly what we were looking for. Because these people that are listening, are going to be listening to you, don't know you, and from what they're hearing is okay. Yeah, this guy's a phenomenal artist, but as far as a person, if would he sell out, and then you just brought out that fire and that passion and that conviction. And that's what it's about, man. Sometimes, somebody has to press the right buttons for you to see it. But, they need to know, well, yeah, I'm a laid back kind of dude. But if you come buck at me, I'm going to fuck you up.
That's my mentality, man. I try to be as calm as I can, because Jay-Z said it's a great verse from a wise man told me never argue with fools, because from a distance, so you can't tell who is who. So like, there's no reason for me to go back and back with people. I just know that when it gets down to it, and we get to that craft or whatever, somebody feels like they're better at me. It could be like 2K. I love playing 2K. That's my favorite game. Like I don't know if you play 2K or not, but it gets intense. Like, and I have wars with people. So like, I'm very competitive. But when it comes down to it, me as a person, I'm very laid back. I don't like to be off in people's faces. I handle my business. I'm very low key about what I do, but I'm not a passive person at all. And if people got it confused, then don't get it confused. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm not the person. But I definitely understand. I definitely understand what you're saying completely.
Okay, so we're gonna move on here.
All right.
So why don't we talk about some shows that you've done? What's the biggest show that you did, and what's the most meaningful show that you did?
Well, it's all one. It's literally all one show. I did one show, and it meant the most to me. The only reason I'm gonna clarify it, the only reason why I did one show was because my music career literally just took off probably like 2 years ago. So it's hard to get shows. I've been like shopping around, but the only show that I have done was an Apollo night at my school. and I killed it. But the problem with that was they cut me short. It was so meaningful to me because I felt like everything that I've been through, like there's people who died, like I had my friend die in a car accident, and like my grandmother died, and my great grandmother died, and my grandfather died. So there's people that I just felt like one of my best friends died. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, he was one of my best friends, and he died. And all that stuff, all that anger, all that just that hurt, I took that out in the show, and I did it for the people who were watching me from above. That's why it meant so much to me, my first show. And it wasn't even that long. I got clipped. They did me so dirty too. What happened?
It's all good. Continue, man.
Oh, all right. They clipped me, like they cut my music. They cut it short. I mean, it is what it is. I was killing it. They gave everybody like 6 or 7 minutes. They gave me 3 minutes. But within that time span, I did what I had to do. But it was my most meaningful show. But this summer coming up, I plan to have a few shows. As far as my next show, I have one the 22nd with Coast to Coast Radio, or I'm sorry, Coast to Coast Mixtapes. It's in New York City, so I'm looking forward to that because that's definitely a chance for me to redeem myself as far as performing.
Well, you got to remember, though, the Apollo, though, is like a huge thing. It's not a little baby thing, you know?
Yeah, I know. I understand that. But the only difference is because people were doing, like, poetry and all this other stuff, and people were literally getting booed off the stage. So it was just like the Apollo night. But the problem was they had, it was politics. They gave people more time than what they were supposed to have, and they cut people short when they didn't feel like they weren't doing good. But I literally had the crowd rocking, and then the dude cut the music out on me, and I'm like, I'm only out here for 3 minutes. So that was my most meaningful show that I have done so far. The next couple shows, it's probably going to change. Like, each show is probably going to be more meaningful than the last one. That's how I look at it.
Exactly. That's what it's about. And that was real life when they cut shit like you. When they don't want to hear something, they'll do that. Yeah,
they will. And you know what? I can say, like, yeah, it was whack. Like, if my show was whack, I'd be telling you, like, yeah, that shit was so whack. And I wouldn't lie to you and say they cut me short for other reasons, but they literally cut me short, like, and it killed me inside because I had so much more to do. But you know, it is what it is. So I'm just preparing for my next show, like a fight. I'm just getting right now. I'm getting ready for that Coast to Coast mixtape show in June at Santos Place. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for my next show.
Well, I mean, how many people could say that they played at the Apollo and then they got to go on, you know, a Coast to Coast up in New York City, and that was their first 2 shows? Come on now.
Not many people, and I'm very blessed to be in that situation. Now, I'm going to continue. It's all about hard work, you know. You got to work hard, and you'll get the shows, you'll get everything that you need, but first you got to put in that hard work. You got to build a resume for yourself, and that's what I'm trying to do with music. So I got another mixtape coming out. It's coming out very soon. I don't have a date yet, but it's called Student of the Game, and that's a little EP that I'm putting out before I come out with a mixtape next fall. So I'm just trying to work, you know. I'm just trying to work very hard.
And you are working very hard. I mean, there's no doubt on that. You know, you're just your flows are just on, you know, pace, on the beat. Your lyrical skills are, you know, for somebody that just started, your lyrical skills are just like in college when they're supposed to be in elementary school.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, I'm just being real here.
I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. I love the comments. I love the because I know you're not gonna be up here bullshitting me, and that's not what I need. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't bullshit anybody. If I think somebody sucks, I'll tell them straight out, you suck.
I believe it.
You know, I had somebody I had an ad out on Craigslist, and then somebody was using Autotune for all their songs, and they thought I was going to put them on, and I'm like, I don't think so.
But see, that's what goes with that's what goes with people thinking what's hot is gonna get you playing time. Like Future got Autotune and all this other shit, but don't mean you're Future. Like you shouldn't be doing what other people are doing. I mean, that's what happens. People are what they think they are, you know.
So where do your songs come from? Are these just real life experiences? Are these just doodles on a chalkboard, or how does that work? And what's your most meaningful song so far?
My most meaningful song to me is I would say Glory. It's called Glory, and I did it with a friend of mine. His name's Charlie Tangeray, and he was singing on the hook. He sung a verse, and I did my verse, and it was basically about hard times, and I talked about my hard times, like me. I talked about me messing up my knee and how like that was a huge thing for me, and I did a whole song basically talking about that, talking about how I wanted to be. My dreams were to be in the league. Like that's what my dreams were, and one of the lines that I feel like was the most memorable line for me was, but a setback is just a setup for a comeback. Because I was talking about my knee and like how I felt like I was set back by it because I didn't know what to do and I didn't know what to do in my life. And then the comeback was me making the music. So it like transformed from me worrying about my knee to me making music talking about my knee and getting the pain out and getting people to actually hear it. So I felt that was pretty cool, and it was really one of my most. I felt it the most. I haven't done any to the point where it's hit me so deep yet, but when that time comes, I feel like everybody will know. There's a song that I did that is the most creative song I ever did. It's on my EP, and it's called Wake Up, and it's about a dude, not necessarily me, but a dude who's like driving late night, and he just happened to get shot by somebody who robbed him in his car. Like just shit like that happens, and he thought it was a dream the whole time, and he goes to wake up, and he really dies, and that's like the concept behind the whole song. So that was the most creative song, the most memorable, or the most song that means the most to me is the song called Glory with my friend Charlie Tangeray. So
nice. All right. Before we continue here, I know you don't know, but I know you got 3 other people up in this interview as well. Does anybody want to ask Trey Tuck a question? Well, maybe not. Sorry, I ain't meaning to call anybody out. I figured one of you people would like to ask you a question. Oh, well.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you a question.
What's up?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah, what's up?
My question to you is, are you going to finish school before you pursue the rest of your rapping career?
Am I going to finish school?
Yes.
I hope so. If it could get me out of school, I'd do it.
Okay, that's what I just want to know, because I think you should finish school first.
Well, no, I have no choice to finish school. That's just a little joke. I really have no choice to finish school. My family's they emphasize on school a lot, so I have no choice but to finish school, basically.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Getting an education, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because you can always fall back on something, and that's what I was always told. So.
Yep, you always have to have a backup plan. That's always the best thing, to have a backup plan just in case.
So why don't you explain this brother from another is entertainment? Where did you meet these guys, and how did you come up with that name? How did you all come up with that name?
Well, we're the people who. How I see it is, we're all brothers from another. Like, the people that I grew up, well, you know, you call, yeah, that's my brother from another mother. Like, people say that term a lot. So we basically just put that into like a music format. And the people that I rap with, one of his names is, I'll give out his whole name. His name is Xavier Wade. That's one of my very good friends. Like, I've known him since probably like third grade or something like that. Another guy who's in the group is Herbie Brown. I've known him since like third grade. And you got like my boy. He just went off to the army. His name's Andre, and I've known him since like first grade. So like I've known these people that I'm rapping with. And I've known them since I've been born. Basically, as long as I can remember. So when the name was established, it went from Goodfellas, like the movie Goodfellas, and it was with me and some people that I was rapping out in school with, and then that kind of fell out a little bit. So me and my boy Xavier changed the name to Brothers from Another because we felt like the people that we were rapping with were just like our brothers. So we just used that, and we threw ENT on it because eventually what we want to do as a group is have our own label and be able to put people on like we were put people on and give people the opportunity that we strive for. So there's a bigger goal behind it. Like I look at it as a business label, but as of right now we're just a group because we're not completely established. But the idea behind it is that it doesn't just have to be people who are rapping. It doesn't have to be like people who can rap or have a skill. It's people who you're very close to. Like people, it doesn't even have to be a dude. It could be a girl. Like if you're very close to a girl, it doesn't have to be Brothers from Another, but you just know that you're very close to that person. Like it's just like a family. Like it represents peace, love, respect, faith, you know, and just having fun with the music, and that's what we try to put in the name with the meaning behind it. So there's more meaning to what it says, but in songs we usually say like BFA or something like that, just so people know, like I'm not an individual. This is a group. This is a group thing. We might be doing our own individual things, but at the end of the day, we come together as a group. So,
well, here's the thing. Now you've got 5 other people in the group. So I mean, you have quite a following. It's like your people follow you everywhere, whether it's your family, your friends, you know, your boys, your girls, whatever. You know, the whole thing is. There's a song that said, you know, started from the bottom, now we're here. If you were to make it, do you think you'd take your people with you?
Of course, as long as my people want to eat with me, as long as they got the same motivation as I do to be great, like not people looking for handouts. You know, there's a difference between people who are looking for handouts and they want you to like bring them up. Like, okay, my boy made it, so like I don't want that. I want people who are doing their own thing and like they want to be great. Like they compete with me. Like I want people who are gonna tell me when I'm wrong. I don't want just yes men. I want people I'm gonna argue with because at least I know the connection is genuine instead of like you're just riding with me because I got money and whatever. I don't want that. So of course I'm gonna bring the people I started with up to the top with me. But if they don't want to eat like I do and they don't have that hunger, then they're getting cut off. Because you don't need to keep leeches around. Like that's not something that anybody enjoys, and it's not good for business. So there's a difference between like friendship and business. If you don't want to it's not even about making money. It's just about bettering yourself. So if you don't want to better yourself and do this to be a better person at the end of the day, then I don't want to be around you. And I don't think anybody should surround themselves with people like that because that just brings your value as a person down. So
now, if you didn't make it in hip hop, which I don't see any reason why you won't, unless politics, you know, what could you see yourself doing?
As far as a business or just music wise?
As far as the business.
As far as a business, well, as far as a business, I would definitely want to have my own music business. So we bring people in, like, you know, you have A&Rs and all this stuff, and you give people that shot that that I feel like deserve it that probably won't get it if they're by themselves. Also, as far as a business, this might sound a little funny, but my mom my mom has great ideas. So like she just needs the money to back it. And she's had a lot of ideas that she's thought about in the future and has wanted to do. So I'd probably financially help my mother out because she has like $1 million ideas but just doesn't have the money towards it. And also I would like to just just give back to people, like give back to the youth. Like it doesn't even have to be people where I've grown up. Like I wouldn't mind talking to people and just giving speeches on like how to become great, like striving for a better self of you, because I feel like not everyone gets self motivation. Not everybody is good with self motivating themselves. Sometimes people need to be motivated by others. So that's why I feel like I do as far as the business aspect of music.
All right. So you said you played sports. What sport were you trying to get into the most?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
You said you played sports. What sport did you try to get into the most? Was it football? And what did you play in football prior to the knee injury?
It definitely was football, and the position I played when I had the knee injury, it was running back, and I played linebacker. And I still, actually to this day, I play football because I play on the club team. So like I'm living both dreams that I wanted to do. It's not like to go to the league, but at least I'm having fun doing it. But I play running back and linebacker, and I love hitting people. I love hitting people, and I love being able to juke the hell out of someone. So it goes hand in hand.
You know,
football is my favorite sport, and I gotta say this: I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and they made they're disappointed in the draft, man. That's all I'm gonna tell you. They're very disappointed me. They're disappointed in the draft, and it makes it hard to be a fan. I just had to let people know that.
Well, here we go. We got another one of your fans in here. I mean, you got your whole people here, your whole entourage. But that's good. That's good. It's your people, you know. But here's the thing. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I see myself on a tour somewhere. Hopefully touring out of the country. I want to be financially set in 5 years, and I want to be, first of all, I'm going to graduate school. That's one thing. I want to be financially stable, and I want to be able to tour, if not around this country, around other countries, and go international with music, because hip-hop is a very large thing in other countries, and I feel like just to be able to travel out of a country and do your music to people who don't even speak the language is I think there's something great about that. So that's what I hope to do, and that's what I'm pushing forward with this vision of mine and my boys and my family and everyone else that I'm with.
So, I mean, if somebody were to try to get into the game right now, what advice would you give them, knowing that how hard it can be, especially if you're out in New York and they can cut you short or boo you or whatever?
Well, I would just say just be confident. That's one thing. And know what you're doing is good music, and know what you're doing is good for yourself. And you gotta be satisfied with what excuse me. You gotta be satisfied with what you want to do. Another thing I tell someone who's trying to come into the game and make music is that you just gotta motivate yourself, and you gotta push very hard. And if motivating yourself means you watch a lot of videos of people talking about motivation, then do it. But you have to stay motivated and know that nothing ever comes fast. Nothing that's good will come easy to you. So you're going to have to work hard, and you're going to have to go through long periods where you feel like you're not getting better, but everyone hears you're getting better, but you just don't see it because it's not happening as fast as you want it to. So you just really have to be patient. That's one thing that's very huge. If you want to be great, I'm learning that you have to be very patient, and it's hard to be patient when you hear like people blowing up who really suck, and you're better than them, but you know that if you work hard, it's gonna pay off one day, and that's how I feel, and that's what I would tell someone who's trying to come into music, as far as being a hip hop artist.
So who are your favorite, other performers or favorite people in your group that you like to perform with and, really feel you mesh well with and you really click? And is there a song that, that we can hear that the listeners at a future date we could play that, really describes what you're saying?
Yeah, we have this song. One of my boys is not in it, but for majority purposes, or for majority of the song, everybody in my group is in it. It's called "The Apology" by everybody. Basically, it's me, Trey Tuck, X Wade. You got Dre Hooks. That's the dude who's going to the army, and then you got my boy Marley the Black Sheep. And he's not a part of our group, but that's my homie. So I mean, it goes hand in hand. But it's out right now. Like you can look it up. It's a very good song. It's just a smooth song that I feel like people can ride to, and I think that people will appreciate it. As far as performing wise, I feel like in the future, if I perform with anyone in my group, just because of how long I've known them and I know where their mindsets are, I feel like we would all mesh very perfectly, because it's just a good feeling. Like I love being around. There will be people I haven't seen in probably like a month. Like one of my boys goes to a different school in Boston. That's my boy. But when I see him, it always feels the same. So I feel like getting on stage with everybody in my group would mesh very perfectly, and I think it would sound good. And we're looking forward to all making a collab group mixtape. So that should be, we're in the process of that right now. So it should be coming soon.
All right. Before I ask you another question, I mean, you got all these people with you. Does anybody else want to ask him a question? I guess not.
It's all good.
All right. but anyway, so who could you see yourself performing with? Like that's a big star that is your dream to perform with.
My dream to perform with, I'd probably have to say say that again?
That wasn't me, man.
Oh, okay. I've seen Kendrick Lamar perform, but I think I'd really have a lot of fun performing with Kanye West. I don't know why. I just feel like, I mean, I went to the Yeezus tour, and that was like a Broadway play. Like it looked like a movie out there. So I feel like that would be fun. That'd be very interesting, because he has a lot of, it's not just a performance, there's a lot of theatrics behind it. So I enjoy performing with him, and I probably enjoy performing with Wale, just because that's one of my favorite artists, and I was bumping him since he came out with the Ninth Wonder mixtape, and people thought he was whack and everything. And I'm from Connecticut, he's from DC, so I wouldn't mind performing with him. I think that'd be a great experience.
So do you believe that your style is straight like East Coast, or do you think you could rock anywhere, say in the West Coast, down south? Do you think anybody could feel you?
I think so because I really don't think that it has to do with, as far as my music, I don't think it would have to do with the music. I think it would have to do with how I perform the songs. If I don't perform them to an extent where people are feeling the music, or you can feel the vibe, or you can feel that I'm feeling the music as I'm performing, I feel like anywhere people aren't gonna feel it. But I feel like if you have the right performance and you know how to relate to a crowd, or the perfect song choices. That's why I want to make songs for everybody, not just one specific genre of people, because if you do that, then you're putting yourself in a box. So what I want to do is I want to make music for everybody that's still hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's still hip hop music, but it's for everybody to listen to and everybody to relate to. So when you perform on different like coast or whatever, you have a specific, you have like genre of music that applies for everyone, not just a certain amount of people. And that's what I'm in the process of right now, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, here's the thing. You in the future, you're probably going to be on many radio shows. There's no doubt about that. However, I guarantee none of them will be able to have 9 people that, if they wanted to, at any point, could ask you a question.
I don't know either, man. That's pretty crazy, but I appreciate the support that I'm getting from people. I always say that, but I really mean it. I really mean it.
I totally hear that. So, I mean, do you have anything that you could?
Number.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But that 9 is a very good number.
Yes, it is.
I have a question.
Yes.
What inspired you to start your music career?
All right. Hold on a second. Just music. Just everything I've been through has inspired me to do music. Like, so, I mean, it really just has to do with my whole life. My whole life has inspired me to do music because I feel like everybody has something to talk about. Some people just can't write it down. So it's just been my life, pretty much. But I think you were saying something, Ray. What were you saying?
What would you like to, if you had a story to tell, like, the people out there, what would you, tell them, in a brief summary, who is Trey Tuck?
Just a kid, I'm still a kid at heart, somebody who came from a not so good to live area, somebody who just wants to be great. And I overcame adversity just like everyone else, and I just basically, I just want people to know that I'm out to achieve greatness. Whatever greatness is to me, my standards of being great that's what I feel, and I feel like I want to be the greatest hip hop artist that's ever been out there. Like if you're not doing it for that, then I mean you're just not really doing it. Like you're cutting yourself short. So that's what I strive for, and that's the type of person I am. I'm someone who's a perfectionist. Like I don't like it's hard sometimes. Like I like things a certain way, and that's how I feel about my music. So.
So who would you? I know you don't like to compare yourself to anybody, but who would you say your style is most like? Would you say like Kanye, or would you say like Tupac, or would you like to say like Jada? Or I mean, out of all the big known, who would you say is the most influential that you've listened to?
Can I name more? Can I name more than one? Or
sure,
I can name more than one. I say Nas and Jadakiss. Those are two big artists who influenced me. And it's not really as far as me like going out buying the albums, but it's just me listening to the music, and me as I got older, I was able to understand the stories that Nas was telling and how he told them and what he did. And Jadakiss, as far as Jadakiss, I felt like his delivery was so on point with things that he said, and just what he talked about. I couldn't relate to what he talked about, but the aggression that he had about what he was talking about, I think that reflects on me at some point, because there's some times in songs where I get aggressive, like where I'm like, it seems like I'm mad, but I'm just trying to get my point across. So it could be like that, and so I feel like Nas and Jadakiss are two people who influenced me, as well as Kanye, but not as much. I don't feel like as those two.
So about your yeah, that's great. Your personal life. Would you? Are you currently available?
Am I currently available? Like single?
There you go. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about for the ladies that listen.
Nah, I'm not. I'm not single. I'm sorry. I hope I don't lose any fans over that. I'm not single though. I have a very beautiful girlfriend. I've been with her for like 2 years, so I'm sorry, people.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, if
I
you're in
think I'm
love,
just,
you're in love.
yeah, I hear you, but I'm saying like I mean I don't know. I don't want to lose fans over that because I know how girls are like
Yeah. So even being a female, I mean, you don't listen to an artist because of him being single. You listen to him because you like the music, you know?
I appreciate it. Yeah, I hear you.
So would you say whenever anybody listens to any of your songs out there that they're all meaningful and they're not about BS, or would you say that some of them are about just going out there and partying or just having a good time, and then others are meaningful?
Some are gonna be like that because there's a portion of my life that I've done that stuff, so that's what I can talk about. But for the majority is meaningful, but you do have those handful of songs that are like bold, like just not bold, but they're just I do freestyle, so sometimes when I do freestyles, they're a lot less more meaningful to me than me actually writing a song to an original beat. So like I did a freestyle over Talk Dirty, and I felt like that was a little bit of BS, but it was just me putting words together, and I felt I was just trying to get my flow down. So some are BS and most are meaningful to me, very meaningful. When I make songs, I try to make them mean something to me or mean something to someone else that I know who's been through a situation that is relatable to the story. So,
So do you see yourself as basically the light at the end of the tunnel as far as like your music and what you're trying to portray with all the craziness going on in the world today?
I hope so, man. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. To be honest, I can't. I probably will be the hope, the light at the end of the tunnel in a couple years. As of right now, I just feel like I can't make statements like that because I feel only time will tell. When people are telling me that and I'm hearing it consistently, then I know I'm there. But as of right now, I'm just trying to stick to perfecting my craft. So right now my head's down, like, when people are texting and they're walking and their heads are down and they don't know what's going on around them, and then they look up and they're like, oh shit, like I'm in front of where I need to be, like, so that's how I feel right now. I'm just focused on what the music is, and as far as what everyone else thinks about me and my music, I accept compliments and I accept criticism, but I try not to let it get too far to me because I know me personally, I have goals that I want to achieve within making music that I have to hit. So I'm more focused on that than focused on trying to please others and be like that heaven sent, person for hip hop music. But I can see myself being that though, to be completely honest with you.
Well, it's not even about being heaven sent or anything. I mean, the whole thing is, people are looking for the person out there, that's real, the one that actually can relate to them nowadays, because most of the shit nowadays is garbage.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got great beats and it's got, a chorus that you remember, it can't get out of your head, but at the end of the day, it's not the lyrical style that it once was. And, it seems like it's just going to, people are trying to kill it in a way.
Yeah, I agree with that. People are trying to do too much, and that, like you said, you were on point with the catchy hooks and the beats that sound good. Because I listen to some of these songs, and it's like, what are they talking about within the verse? It's really nothing half the time. The chorus is good, and the beat is real nice, but it has nothing to talk about. And then you have people living their lives after these people's lyrics, and it steers them in the wrong direction. If that makes sense. Like, and that's how I feel our music is right now. Not everybody, but majority of the music that you hear on the radio is meant to steer like people towards negativity, like to make it okay to be negative or make it okay to like be like degrade yourself. Like there's a song called These Hoes, like Chris Brown's song is called These Hoes Ain't Loyal, and like you got all these girls singing this, like talking about these hoes aren't loyal, and like, but the point of the song is he's calling all women hoes, like, and he's saying they're all not loyal, and everybody thinks that that's not like a degrading song, but that's very degrading to women. So, I mean, I just feel like the negative music is BS. Yeah, the hooks are good and the beats are nice, but if you're not talking about anything, then you're affecting the community in the wrong way. So.
If you did ever make it, rich and famous, just hypothetical, could you see yourself like, building a community center for somebody or?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd love to do that. I work with kids right now, so I love being around kids and being able to share them the message, because I feel like it starts when you're young. Like you get your bad habits and you get your way of thinking when you're young, and whoever's around you. If you don't have, there's a lot of people I know who grew up in broken homes, and like they didn't have someone there to tell them like, hey, you're doing the wrong thing. They didn't have that. So what do they result to? They result to their peers. What are their peers doing? The wrong things, and then that just becomes a habit. So I feel like community centers, I definitely try to build one. I definitely try to build something to keep kids educated, but make it fun for them to be educated. Because, I mean, to be honest with you, people don't glorify education like being smart as they should. Like, it's okay to be, people make it seem like it's okay to be smart, but if you're dumb, it's okay to be dumb too. Like, no, you don't want people to be dumb. You want people to be as educated as they possibly can, and that's what I would try to do as far as community centers and like just building character. I think that's what it would be if I had a community center. Build character and just have fun with kids and teach positive things.
So you could see yourself a role model for the kids and everything else.
Yes, I am. It's crazy because I'm a kid myself. Like I get caught doing like little stupid things like kids do, but like when I'm in a position of like trying to influence kids to be positive, I work at a YMCA, and that's all I do every day is just try to make these kids understand that it's okay to be who you are. Like it's okay to like toys like at 10. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Just be yourself. That's what I try to instill in the kids that I work with, and I get a lot of respect. But I just try to be as good of a role model as I can be to kids. And I feel like with music, that goes hand in hand with music, because if I'm saying all this to you right now and I'm going out talking about these hoes and ho like it's Christmas or something, like then I'm being a hypocrite, and I don't want to be that person. I want people to look at me and be like, he's actually living what he's saying. So
I totally understand. It's just like when you were talking about, the women, degrading themselves and everything. I just want to slap the person that made the jeans that say "I'm juicy" on the ass.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I want to slap the girls who are wearing it. I mean, how more degrading could it be? But the thing is, like, you got all this stuff like World Star, and they glorify it. Like, you got Vine and all these social media accounts that glorify doing stupid things, like, and it's not cool at the end of the day because there's someone laughing at everybody, like, you guys are all stupid, you're all doing dumb shit, like, so, I mean, I try to be as positive as I can, so I stay away from World Star hip-hop, even though some of that shit is funny. Not all of it is good to be taken in, because people strive to be ratchet now. Like, people strive to have the greatest Vine by doing some of the dumbest shit, and you got people doing just completely dumb shit. Like, and that's not good for a society that reflects the music. Like, we're doing dumb shit because of the music. Not because of the music completely, but the music has an effect on what we think is good and what we think is positive and negative. So
okay, now we've got 13 in the room. Does anybody want to ask Trey Tuck a question?
Yes. Where do you see yourself being in the future?
I see myself being on tour somewhere. I want to tour the world. I want to travel the world, and I want to be able to take my family around the world because of music. And I see myself loving what I'm doing. Like, some people grow up and they have these ideas and they have these dreams, and some people end up falling into jobs they don't like and they only work there because of money and they need the paycheck. I don't want to be that person. I want to be a person who's doing what I love to do. So I can see myself traveling the world. That's the main thing, because the world is a lot bigger than America. People don't realize it, but I would love to travel the world and have music be the reason why that is happening. So that's why I hope to see in my future.
So, being a college kid, what do you think about them taking music out of schools?
That's what do you can you like go further into that? Like you mean like taking music out of school, like
there's some schools out there that do not have a music class, or there's some schools out there that are losing their music class.
I think what they're doing is they're creating people who are just falling into a system. Like you could go to school and you can stumble into music, and then that could be like your profession. But I think the school system is meant for people to fall into a system of, okay, well, these are only things I can do, and I can only do this because this is only what the school allows. And so eventually, I think when you take music out of schools, you're just marginalizing people, because there could be a million musical artists of all genres who could be great, but if they don't have that chance to try at least to start something, they won't be able to discover their talent. And it's kind of sad when you see people like that. So I think it's
taking away their creativity, basically.
Yes, I think it's messed up. I think it's messed up. Go ahead.
What do you? I'm not trying to get on a political thing or anything with you, but what do you think about the young 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds out there making babies? Do you think that's right, or do you think they're just too young?
See, it depends. If it happens because of, there's kids who have babies because they've been raped, and then they don't abort babies. So if that's the case, I feel bad for rape victims and stuff like that. But as far as kids who are literally trying to make babies, I think it's stupid, because I think as of 14 and 15 and 16, to each his own. Like, I can't knock it. If you're going to do it, just make sure you take care of what you're doing. Like, don't have a kid at a young age and then not be able to support it. Like, I told myself, I don't ever want to take a kid in this world or bring a kid in this world if I don't have nothing to give it. Like, if I don't have enough to support my kid, I don't want to have it, because nobody wants to. I don't want to grow up struggling, so why would you want something like that for your kid? Like, but if you have it, I guess you can do it. To each his own. That's how I feel about it.
Do you feel that music has an effect on that decision to have a kid or not?
I think I don't think it does. I think it's who's listening to the music. Like, if you listen to the music and they're telling you like go around, fuck this girl, do whatever, and you actually do it, then one, we're your parents. Two, you should have an idea of what's right from wrong. And music has a slight effect, but it doesn't affect the way people should be thinking. Like, it's logical to think, okay, this music is talking about going out and shooting people, so this person goes out and shoots somebody, it's because they're listening to the music. But I feel like if you have your morals straight, then you'll be all right. I don't think music has an effect, because I listen to like West Coast music. They talk about shooting people and all this stuff, but it doesn't make me want to go out and go on a gun go to the gun range or do something like that. So I think it just has to do with your morals and stuff like that.
You know, does anyone else want to ask him a question? Because we got a lot of heads up in here.
Yeah, I ask a question.
What's good?
My question is this: what do you say to the individuals who struggle mentally or with their confidence if they wanted to get into rapping or singing or anything like that?
Like, so say that again. I'm sorry.
If you had to encourage an individual, because I heard you say you work with kids and stuff like that. If you had to encourage an individual who had like self-esteem issues or confident issues in themselves, what would be the message that you give to them in reference to becoming a better artist?
That's a good question. What I would do is you gotta find that person's niche. So say the person wants to be a singer and they're embarrassed by singing around people because they don't think they're good enough. I would just tell them it's really all about practice. You gotta practice. If you practice hard enough, it'll show in your craft. Like you could be there's people who suck at rapping, but if you practice and you have repetition of doing the same thing and you do the same thing, you practice, eventually you will get better. So if I'm encouraging someone who says they want to be a singer or something like that, or they want to be a rapper or even make beats, you just have to keep practicing at it because nothing comes easy. Everybody knows nothing comes easy, and some people are blessed to have it come easy to them. Some people have the gift of some people have the gift of it just coming to them, and then they just use the talent that they have. But hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, and I heard that from Jadakiss, and it's completely true. So you just gotta encourage hard work in them and show them that they're making progress. And I think that'll encourage anybody to stay motivated to keep doing what they're doing.
What makes you consider yourself a good artist?
I mean, I feel like I'm a good artist because I talk about what I know. So in my mind, I know what my morals are, and I know what's good to me, and I know what's bad to me. And I know that me staying true to myself makes me a good artist because even though I'm very good lyrically, I can suck. But if I'm talking about what I know in my mind, I feel like I'm a good artist because I'm being true to myself. So as real as I can be to myself makes me a good artist. And then the lyrics and your flow and everything comes. But if you have the mindset of, okay, I'm talking about what I know and I'm confident about talking about what I know, then it makes me a good artist. Then my flow complements it because you're confident. When you're confident, your flow sounds good. But when you're a little off and you're not confident, then your flow is off and your lyrics might be a little shaky. So I feel like the more confidence you have makes you a good artist as well.
And what makes you different than other artists?
I just feel like I try not to sound like everybody else. Like I try not to, my hooks and my beats aren't like everybody, because nowadays everybody has that down south, everybody wants that down south beat with the bass knocking out the system, like, and yes, I would love a beat like that, but I try to stick to what I know. So like I grew up, my mom, she's listening to Prince and like Erykah Badu and all this other stuff in the kitchen, and I'm listening to that, and I'm like, okay, well, this is the type of music that I like. I don't really care about what other people like. I just make the music that's good for me, and that's what kind of separates myself from other people, because when you're making something that you like, other people are going to like it themselves.
All right, do we have any more questions?
I have one more because it's getting so good right now. My next question will be this. Now, I hear that your vocabulary is extremely extensive. So, what type of literature would you tell me that you read?
I read the dictionary. I tried no lie, but I try to read the dictionary, and I got to like the end of the A's and that was it. So.
Well, I have to say that you have to keep on keeping it up because it's a beautiful thing that what you're doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
The thing is, Tupac actually, while he was in prison, actually read the thesaurus. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with reading the dictionary.
Yeah, I know, but it's hard. There's so many pages in that thing. It's crazy. I'm trying though.
All right. Does anyone else want to ask him a question before we wrap this up? We got a lot of people here.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. How do you stay grounded? Or how will you stay grounded if you blow up and, become...
Trey, let me help you with that question, Trey.
Okay.
I know Trey. The reason why Trey is going to stay grounded because Trey has remarkable people around him. First of all, his mother, his grandmother, great people, humble. His uncle JC, Russell, great dude. Myself, I'm gonna keep Trey on track. So trust me, Trey's gonna stay true to his craft. Trey's gonna stay humble. That's the only thing he knows is to be humble.
Sir. Thank you.
This is a line, by the way, Trey.
Was good. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Nah, Trey, you're doing a remarkable job. Man, I'm listening to what you're saying, man, and it's true. Nothing is BS, man. It's all true. And that's the type of person that you are, yo. So you're gonna be all right, bro.
Shout out my man Tuck.
Thank you.
Shout out my man Tuck.
Yo.
PFA in the building. Stand up.
All right. What's up? What's good, Ray?
You got your people supporting you. You've got 16 on the line right now, not including us.
Yep.
Wow.
And it's fantastic that you're so well grounded and you grew up so well. And I give props not only to your mother, your father, your all your family and all your friends, because that's great that they help you so much to keep you grounded and help keep you going when times get tough.
Yes, trust me, I'm very blessed to be in that situation. Not everyone can say that.
Very true. You definitely grew up to be a very, very well-educated, well-rounded young man, and and I know that being a mother, that your mother must be very proud of you, not only your mother but your whole family, and all of your friends, of course.
Thank you. Oh.
So, explain a day in the life of Trey Tuck when you're not doing music, when you're just. I mean, are you sitting around playing video games? Or are you out?
You still rise?
All right. The day, just a regular day. A regular day would be, I wake up early in the morning. I go to work at 7:00 every morning for the most part. And then I'll try to go to the gym if I can. I'll hang out with my boys, play Madden, lose a couple times, win a couple times. Do some homework, probably watch the NBA playoffs right now since it's going on. I'm kind of mad my Warriors got kicked out. I became a Warriors fan, and I'm kind of mad they fired Mark Jackson too. So I might stop being a Warriors fan, but that's besides the fact. I usually watch that, and then I'll just probably stroll for beats, like while I have time. If I have time, I'll just talk to my girl, and that's pretty much. And I go to sleep probably like 3:00 in the morning. I don't know why. I can't really tell you what I'm doing half that time, because it's usually just something that's dumb. But I usually go to sleep at 3:00 and I do it all again. I recently started watching Lost, and that's a real good show. So I've been stuck on that when I have time to relax. So
the dog is like walking right through, and you're like trying to like squeeze him up.
Do you feel that the Atlanta Falcons are better than the Dallas Cowboys?
All right, yeah. Anyways.
I love you, Trey Tucker. I'm your #1 fan. I love you.
These girls.
All right, thank you. But yeah, that's just a regular day in the life, So I'm just a regular person, like I said. I don't do anything crazy. I don't try to live a lifestyle that I'm not familiar with. I have trust issues. I'm just a regular person, like not more, nothing less.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, I'm sure that everybody would agree that if you do get your money, which I'm not telling you don't get your money, but don't sell out, because you've got your whole family and your own whole entourage following you and backing you out. And if you were to sell out, you'd be letting them all down, and you don't want to do that, because they're the ones that raised you and, kept you grounded.
Yeah, I'd feel as a disgrace, and I see that as a sign of disrespect. Definitely won't do it. I definitely won't do it.
Not only besides your family and your friends and all your entourage, you have us also backing you, and we will follow you and back you, and everything else as far as because you are a great, fantastic artist. I mean, really.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and it definitely means a lot to me, because it's when I first started, it was hard to find people to actually listen, and it feels good to know that the hard work is paying off, So I definitely appreciate it. I'm not just saying it because everybody says, yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. It means something to me. So I thank you very much.
Say, brother, when you get that money, man, is you gonna go out and buy some gold jewelry, some platinum?
All right.
You gotta get that gold, man. You gotta get that bling. You gotta get your shine on.
All right. So what happened? I'm sorry, Ray Ray.
That's real talk, though, man. You never know what people are going to throw at you, and that's what we love. But we appreciate you being on Two Local Radio, and we'd love to have you back and everything, and we hope you light it up in the coast to coast.
Thank you very much. No, we're going to stay in contact, because, I got you on Facebook, so I appreciate it. So thank you very much for having me on today, or tonight.
Now you suck the color like that's why I tell you.
Love you, Trey Tucker.
Good job, Trey Tucker.
Yes, Trey Tucker.
You're the greatest.
Thank you very much.
When you came in, you just wait.
I remember it was a nappy.
Can I get your autograph?
That's got to make you feel good, man. That's really got to make you feel good.
Don't forget my ginger ale.
Yeah, rappers are monkey flipping with the fucking rhythm I be kicking. Magicians bring death like morticians. Gifted one day, I swear they gonna love this real shit. Automatically got them thinking like, goddamn, who is this? And I don't got a story about the cat blasting, but Bridgeport and Hartford understands that it happens. Around here, niggas making grips off selling coke. Can't do it forever, better than being fucking broke. Options are prison to death, it ain't easy to cope. Homer Simpson lines, everything that I write is dope. Niggas doing anything just to get up in that new Audi. Ain't nobody I know waking up in a new Bugatti. Fucked up priorities, focused on showing out at parties. Acting gaudy, no class, first step to being sorry. Probably living day to day, worry about them checks. Minimum wage got you feeling just like you on the bench. We all want world peace, but gotta act like our test to prove your manhood. Niggas better fucking respect me as a man, and if they don't, I'm coming for you next. When it comes to being successful, I won't be exempt. These hoes give it up like it's something you do for life. Fucked up when you can't pursue your dream cause of the college debt. That's the type of shit that make you wanna go Virginia Tech. 21 gun salute, pointed right at your fucking necks. They promote that you need money if you're trying to make it. And being black in the white world, they want you to fake it. But if you're black giving back, you're considered the greatest. I just call it how I see it, I'm far from a racist. Pagans, fuck a Rush Limbaugh. If you never lived on it, then don't speak on it at all, cause that's the code of the streets. Niggas carry heat, leave you wet up for disrespect like you joined the fleet. Life runs like a river when your moves are discreet. It's like losing for my kin, cause all I know is right and heat. Good promotion and the godly image is gon' get you farther. Have both parents, but some niggas won't meet their fathers. Plotting to take my spot, but I can't be concerned. Niggas know I'm sick with it, just like a bunch of germs. Burn the mic like a perm, tell them niggas wait they turn. Never gon' flop, put an end to that just like David Stern. Too dumb to sell music, it's a business, you haters. Too slow to keep up, hate it when they try to play ya. Beat beats like Frazier, cut MCs like euthanasia. This music is James worthy of a couple of haters. Or better yet, Reggie Miller when he played for the Pacers. The nigga who's taking shot usually gon' have some chasers. We didn't have it all, but we ain't start from the bottom. Just mastered the craft of sports and became a problem. Like a dyslexic child in class trying to read a sonnet. You dickheads get cut off just like Lorena Bobbitt. Verses parallel to hell, but I must maintain all the crazy ass thoughts that be scribbling in my brain. Dealing with crime, niggas dying. Thank God that I'm fine in a CT state of mind.